It seems like almost every day we're talking about you guys and our company with our clients, because right now the average unanswered call rate at these offices are around 35%. And when we go to them and we go to the offices and we say, hey, you need to get more answered phone calls if you want your marketing to work properly, they just are like, we just don't have the bandwidth. Number one, I hate making SOPs, but then when you make them, you want people to use them and you build this library of SOPs. And the next thing you do, you look up and you're like, there people go, well, how do we do this? And it's like, oh, go to the SOP. Which one? And you open up the library, you have 500 SOPs in a way that nobody can use. Nobody can find anything because there's so many of them. Welcome to another episode of Dental Marketing Go. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help you create, convert, and close more new patients so you can grow the way that you want. And we are super excited because we have an event coming up October 19th through the 21st in sunny San Diego. We are hosting the Dental Marketing Manager Bootcamp, and this event's going to be amazing. We're expecting about 250 people there, and it's going to have dentists, front desk, marketing managers, anyone that's involved in the journey of the new patient. They're going to be there, and we're going to be going over not only marketing, but how operations connects with marketing. And right now, tickets are lower than they're ever going to be. We basically give them away up front because no one likes to sign up this early. But we hope you take advantage of it. And today, I have JW from Support DDS, who I'm really, really excited because he is a key part in our client's success because his team brings people at a reasonable rate, the labor, the manpower that you need to actually be successful to scale. He helps outsource that talent, and he uses a different term for that, and I'll let him break that down. But JW, thank you so much for coming on today, and I'm excited to explain to the audience what you are going to be presenting on at the bootcamp.
Yeah. We're going to really talk about, we've talked about this before, Gary. It's about elevating your team. And one of the most critical pieces is your team. I promise you at the front desk, they are doing and going over the same things they've had to do, whether it's recare, whether it's collections, whether it's follow-up. It's those repetitive things that they don't like to do. So it's an opportunity to really elevate your team and also to grow your business. So we think it's real important that you look at insourcing. We call it outsourcing redefined. If you show up, we'll give you a free book that just talks about how you can implement it, successful ways you can implement it in your practice, which, as you know, adds a little bit to your bottom line, but really throws a lot back into your top line, which is going to turn into a very nice ROI for you as well.
Yeah, I mean, just one thing that I know.
Hey, I got a secret for you. Dental marketing agencies are dead. You got that right. Dental marketing agencies aren't performing the way that they used to because there's so much more complications to growing a dental office than just getting a marketing company. At SMC, we are passionate about being a growth partner and helping your practices grow the way that you want. And we have a free newsletter that goes out every single month at dentalmarketingdigest.com. If you sign up, it's free. And there's over 1,000 practices that are already getting these free tips. You don't want to miss out. marketingdigest.com. Sign up now. Links below.
That we use you guys for all the time. That, like I was just telling you, we refer somebody. It seems like almost every day we're talking about you guys and our company with our clients, because right now the average unanswered call rate at these offices are around 35%. And when we go to them and we go to the offices and we say, hey, you need to get more answered phone calls if you want your marketing to work properly, they just are like, we just don't have the bandwidth. So that's when we bring in somebody like you. But there's a lot more that you're going to be going over, because if it was just as easy of just like, oh, just hire someone overseas and have them do it, then everybody would do it and it would be super easy. But it's never that easy. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. And really the key is our teams are based in Zimbabwe. So they have this English accent. Like if I could do my little Scottish English accent, they've got a nice little London accent. And what that does, it brings, there's some research that's been done. Scotland and the UK, those voices have the highest trust factor of any other accents that are around the world. So it brings a little bit of trust that they're dealing with somebody they feel they can be open with, but it also allows you to answer all those calls, as you pointed out. We don't know which ones are the new patient calls. We don't know which ones are asking for directions to the practice. We don't know which ones are a follow-up to an existing appointment maybe, or need to reschedule. So it's important that they all get answered, because as you know, if it's a new patient call and they're looking at that first one on Google and they pulled it up, you don't answer, they're probably going to go to the one right underneath it. So yeah, you're right. Answering those calls is super important for the success of your business as well.
What's some others in an office that you have people who are high paid, dental staff that are doing really work that maybe you could outsource with somebody like yourself? Well, what are some other ways that people could really buy back some time for their team without necessarily adding another salary?
Well, I usually don't start with this one, but many dentists and many upper level managers are using executive assistants just to be able to complete a lot of those tasks each day, as you know, can really eat up and take up a lot of your bandwidth when you're having to schedule different appointments or follow up with different calls, whether it's a personal or from a business perspective. But we now offer the complete RCM solution. So your revenue cycle management, if you're having problems with collections, insurance verifications, we integrate that with some software, what we call some hybrid team solutions. So we're able to help you leverage your RCM. I mentioned the insurance coordinator. The big one that's really grown is that director of first impression, which is the inbound calls. Not only can they just not take the call, but they can literally get them on the schedule for that first appointment. So it's more than just answering the phone like an answering service would, and you're just taking a message, have somebody call you back, but literally programming and scheduling those into your software. So a big help all the way down to financing. We've even got our larger practices who have some IT help. They're utilizing them for some of their back end and even some of the minor up-to-date functions that need to be day cycle SOPs.
Yeah.
We've got groups and we've got some guidelines. Keeping your SOPs updated. As you know, you make them out, and then 2 years later, you're like, man, those don't apply to our practice anymore, right? And so keeping those updated and also in front of people as well.
Man, that's a good one because number one, I hate making SOPs, but then when you make them, you want people to use them and you build this library of SOPs. And the next thing you do, you look up and you're like, there people go, well, how do we do this? And it's like, oh, go to the SOP. Which one? And you open up the library, you have 500 SOPs in a way that nobody can use. Nobody can find anything because there's so many of them. And so if I imagine some of these offices run into the same thing. And if you could have somebody who's just in charge of SOPs, cleaning them up, checking with the teams, making sure it's up to date, that would be huge for a lot of organizations.
Yeah. There's a lot of, while there might not be a lot of, let's say, human resource functions, HR functions within an office, but just the follow-up, the filing of paperwork, the performance evaluations. But you're right. You take those SOPs, you can do an SOP today, and 6 months from now, you've added some tweak into your process, and now you need to go back and update your SOP as well. So very important and could be done in conjunction. And I think that's the key to realizing about insourcing here is that you can have somebody whose primary role may be for recare or recalls or follow-ups or answering the phone. But while they're doing it, they can also do these other functions like updating and organizing your SOPs. I know I've opened up a standard operating procedure before and it had a number on it. And I thought, that's not the last one. We've done one since that. And it's like, where is that one?
Yeah.
So that can be some confusion. And you just send it out to 5 people and you wish you had that back too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And all this plays in. You might be thinking, okay, well, why are you guys discussing all this at a Dental Marketing Manager Bootcamp? Here's why. No one in your office has the time to do these things. And you have to free up time for them to be able to be successful. They don't have time to answer double the phone calls when those leads start coming in. Your schedule is packed already. You don't have enough bandwidth on collecting money and the insurance side and all those kind of things. So you have to bring in someone to help before the revenue starts coming in. And that's what Support DDS is so good at, is that you can get the infrastructure built so that way you can grow. Then you can hire more people, bring them in office, and you start the cycle over again. And so we're really trying to think about this from a holistic standpoint of what does someone actually need to grow? It's not, I wish it would make my job so much easier. I wish it was just marketing. I wish it was just putting an ad up and all of a sudden the patients come in, but it's not that simple. It's not that straightforward. And that's what we're trying to accomplish at this event. JW, any last thoughts from your end of what people can expect just from what your presentation is going to be about?
Yeah, it's interesting. You brought up something that made me think of an old TV commercial. You remember the commercial where they're sitting around, they built their website and it shows that, hey, we got an order, and one order came in and then 2, and then all of a sudden the orders started really rolling in and they just went, what are we going to do with these orders? Very similar to the marketing. Gary's team does a great job generating leads, getting those calls coming to your office, but exactly what do you do with them at that point? And that's what I'm going to talk about at the event, is just what are those ways in which you can increase those efficiencies with your team. So as you market, you can handle that influx of leads and even the follow-up to those leads that need to take place, focusing on those high value events which you have.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on. If someone wants to reach out to you before the event and get some more information on what you're doing over there at Support DDS, what's the best way to get in touch with you, JW?
Yeah, go to supportdds.com. You can schedule a discovery call. Brenda, Rob, Victoria, Callie, somebody will help you with those questions that you have, but just go to supportdds.com. Love to help you out with any questions that you have now too.
Thank you, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yep. Have a good one. Thanks, Gary.
Bye-bye.